Hey there, folks. Buckle up because I've got a story that'll make your jaw drop, your blood boil, and maybe even have you cheering by the end. Picture this. I'm just doing my thing, welcoming customers at the front of my own store when this new high-end mighty manager, let's call her Lauren, decides I'm too old, too frail, and need to be kicked to the curb. The twist? She has no idea I'm the one who built this entire company from a single candlelit dream. Oh, you're going to want to hear how this one unfolds. Let me take you back a bit. About 30 years ago, Sarah Mitchell, started a little shop in Lee, North Carolina. Think warm, cozy home, good soft blankets, scented candles, the kind of stuff that makes a house feel like a hug. I poured my soul into it, stacking shelves until midnight, charming customers with small talk, scraping by on grit and coffee. It wasn't glamorous, but it worked. That tiny shop grew into a chain, my pride and joy. I wasn't some aloof CEO hiding in a glass tower either. I loved the hustle, helping customers pick the perfect throw, cracking jokes with my staff, who honestly became like family. But life doesn't play fair. By my 60s, arthritis hit me like a freight train. At first, it was just a nagging ache, but soon lifting boxes or standing for hours felt like scaling Everest. I was in pain, exhausted, and terrified I'd ruin my body if I didn't slow down. So I made a tough call. I stepped back from running the day-to-day and took a part-time gig as a greeter at my Lee store. It was humbling, sure, but it kept me in the game without breaking me. Plus, my team was incredible about it. My general manager, Dave, practically begged me to take it easy. I started using a wheelchair in public to save my joints, and let me tell you, it was a game changer for my health. Here's the thing. I didn't exactly broadcast that Sarah Mitchell, founder and CEO, was now the greeter. I kept it hush-hush, partly to avoid a big fuss, partly because I was curious. I wanted to see my team in action, raw and real, without the bosses watching VYB. For a while, it was perfect. I got to know my staff as equals, saw who truly cared about the work. But then Lauren strutted in, and oh boy, did the mood shift. Lauren was fresh out of business school, mid-20s, all sleek blazers and sharper attitude. She'd worked her way through college, which I respected, but real-world experience? Not so much. Dave hired her as our new assistant manager after the last one left, and I decided to meet her as Sarah the greeter, not Sarah the owner, just to get a feel for her. Big mistake or maybe the best move I ever made, depending on how you see it. From day one, Lauren was obsessed with modernizing the store. New ads, social media campaigns, fine, I was on board. But it didn't take long to realize she wasn't just talking TikTok. She had her sights on me. I'll never forget the first time I caught her staring at me in my wheelchair, her lips pursed like she'd swallowed a wasp. I was just rolling in, ready to greet customers, not bothering a soul. But to Lauren, I was a problem, a slow, old problem. She never said it outright. Not at first, but I heard the whispers. She'd mutter to other staff about dead weight, dragging the company down, about needing fresh energy. She started watching me like a hawk, tracking my every move. How long were my breaks? How often did I use the bathroom? How much time did I spend sitting? It was creepy, but I let it slide, curious to see how far she'd push it. Spoiler, way too far. The breaking point came one afternoon when my arthritis was screaming. I had a few hours left on my shift, so I slipped into a quiet corner, no customers around, and popped some pain meds, nothing heavy, just enough to keep me going. It took, 30 seconds? Totally within policy. But Lauren swooped in like she'd caught me smuggling gold. "What are you doing?" she snapped, her voice loud enough to make heads turn. I looked up, startled, and before I could answer, she tore into me. "You look so weak, Sarah. This isn't a retirement home. If you can't handle the job, you need to quit." A couple of customers glanced over, awkward as hell, and I just sat there, frozen. I tried to explain, calm as I could. "It's just meds. I'm fine." But she wasn't VYing it. "Get up or get out," she barked, storming off, Leah VYing me stunned and those customers whispering. I could have pulled rank right then, told her who I really was, but something in me wanted to see how deep this hole she was digging would get. A few days later, I got my answer. Lauren sent an email to Dave, laying out this whole case for why I needed to be fired. I was too old, too frail, slowing the company down. She even listed wasted time, like those 30 seconds for my meds. Problem was, she didn't know our HR system auto-copies me on emails like that. I read every word, my blood boiling, but I waited. Then Dave called in sick, and Lauren saw her chance. She called a team meeting, and I knew what was coming. She was going to fire me in front of everyone, like some kind of power trip. The meeting started, and Lauren didn't waste time. She stood at the front of the break room, all smug, and said, "Sarah, I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. You're just not keeping up." The room went dead quiet. My staff people who'd known me for years stared at her like she'd lost her mind. She rambled on, quoting her email about me being decrepit, how the store needed young, VY Brandt folks up front. She even tried to sound kind, saying, "Retirement's a gift, Sarah. You should thank me." I just sat there, silent, letting her dig her grave. Then, right on cue, the door swung open. In walked our CFO, Greg, a guy I've known forever, with a security guard trailing behind. Lauren froze, her face draining of color. Greg, cool as ice, said, "Miss Lauren, step aside, please." She stammered, confused, as he turned to the room. For those that don't know, this is Sarah Mitchell, our founder and CEO. You could have heard a pin drop. Lauren's jaw hit the floor, and I couldn't help eat a smirk crept across my face. I stood up, slow and deliberate, and let her have it. "Lauren, you've been harassing me for weeks because of my age and my disability. UVY, OLAT company policy, federal law, and basic human decency." I held up my phone, showing her email, and kept going. "I've got notes, dates, witnesses, everything. What do you think would have happened if a customer sued us over your little outburst?" She tried to interrupt, mumbling about efficiency and no harm meant, but nobody cared. For the final blow, I turned to the team. "We need to cut the real deadweight here. I say we terminate Lauren." All in favor. Every hand shot up. Security stepped forward, and Lauren, stumbling over apologies, was escorted out, her face a mix of shock and humiliation. The air felt lighter after that. We turned the meeting into a brainstorming session, laying out plans for company-wide training on disability rights and discrimination. The team was all in, and 6 months later, that Ash VY Lee store was our best performer yet. Word of Lauren's meltdown spread, and I won't lie, it probably drew some curious customers. We hired more diverse staff, started a mentorship program, and I even made a new friend, an older guy named Frank, who I share lunch breaks with now. As for Lauren, let's just say her career's not exactly soaring. Our industry's tight niche's got a reputation now, and not the good kind. I don't wish her ill, but actions have consequences. Me? I'm still greeting customers, still in my wheelchair, still low VYing what I do. The lesson here is clear. Don't judge people by how they look or what they need to get by. Bigotry's a losing game, and Lauren learned that the hard way. But here's what I'm still wrestling with. Should I have stopped her sooner? Maybe spared her the public humiliation? Or was letting it play out the only way to show everyone's staff, customers, even myself, that this kind of nonsense won't stand? I'm dying to know what you think. Was Lauren's downfall fair, or did I let it go too far? Should she get a second chance, or is her ruined reputation justice served? And if you've ever been underestimated like I was, what's your story? Drop a comment, hit that like button if you felt the drama, and subscribe for more real-life tales that'll keep you hooked. I'll catch you next time.